Hello everyone. Today I'm making a YouTube video on Notion. I've had a few people ask me about this, and I just want to say if you're going to learn to trade or if you're going to start trading, journaling is absolutely necessary. This is how I journal. I also use an Excel sheet, but this is mainly how I journal, and I keep all my data, all my trades, and anything like that. I have it on Notion. So for anybody that wants to use the template I'm going to talk about today, I'm just going to quickly show you how to use it, but really this video is just mainly to make this template available. So I have a link in the description. It's going to be the site link over here. When you access the site, all you want to do is hover over these 4 pages. You're going to want to highlight them like this and Control C, and you want to paste it into your own Notion account. Now for the free plan on Notion, you have plenty of space to be able to copy paste this and use it for a little bit. But after a year's worth of collecting data, you might have to upgrade or create a new Notion page, which isn't really hard. So you really don't need to worry about paying anything. It's just there will be a limit as to how much data you can input into Notion before they ask to charge you. In which that case, again, you just go up here and you create a new Notion. It's not that hard. Just create a new one and do the exact same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna start by going into the accounts page. We can add a new account, call it account 1, make the initial deposit 10K, and it should show up on everywhere else. So we can also make another account and call this data or for model. Then you have two things. You have the data for your model and you have maybe your live account. Data for model, you don't really need to put anything in initial deposit because you won't be worrying about all that. Now there's two different things here: is data and trades. Data is crucially important, especially even if you're not trading real money. You do want to be collecting data if you're gonna have a model you're gonna trade, regardless of whether I take a trade or not on that day. If the trade showed up, I'll log it in data, and then if I do take a trade myself, then I'll log in trades and I'll have my entry, not what the model should be, but whatever I ended up doing, if it's the model or not. But anyways, what you want to do once you're in trades, I have over here in this blue box, you can hit the drop down. You have different templates. There's an empty page, which is just what they default give you, and then I set this as default. I've created a trade template. If I look at this, is what it looks like. Every template, when you create a new template, will have the same properties. So the properties in the little settings here, you see the property visibility. And I mean, you could like show different things on these boxes here. When I create something, let's say I want to add account 1, and then I want to say it's the model 2 trade type. You can also add your own, like this, simple as just typing in, pressing enter, and creating it. You can add your own things. You can change names, whatever you want to do. Size, you can put in 5 points. I don't know, we did 100, 1,000 points. RR, let's just say it was 3. And gross P&L, we made, I don't know, 1K. Commission, we pay $2. Alright, but is it a faulty trade or not? Blah, blah, blah. This is the great trade screenshots down here. You can put in a screenshot of the trade, your valid plan, any more comments, maybe a journal entry, whatever you want. Alright, and this over here is going to get created on the date which you selected. There's different views to this. You can add a new view, and you have 10 different views. I use list, I use table or calendar, either two. Sometimes I use gallery if I have a lot of images and I want to look at the images. Other than that, though, what I wanted to show you is just property visibility. I can make different things available, like trade type. You'll show you if it's a long, the account, the date, all these different things you can make available, and you can rearrange them in the order you want them to show up in. So if you want the date first, it'll do all that for you, and you can the only thing you can't change is the name. I usually call this whatever the model is, so I have the 2025 model and NLP model, and I'll type the whatever that is. So yeah, so that's the trade log. And then data is where I'll have a calendar and a table view because I'm gonna add up the wins, losses. I'm gonna look at the average RR, and I'm gonna use that to build expectations, right? So if you calculate an average RR of all your trades, it basically gives you an expectation. If you have enough data for enough years, you can get a good expectation of what your expected money you're gonna make per trade. And with this, I can also go to calendar and look at how many trades in total is, how much time there's passed, and then get an average trade per week. If you have the average trades you expect per week and you have the average money you should expect per trade, then you can times that and get an average how much you can have an expectation how much money you should make in a week, in a month, in a day, in a year. And it just makes it a lot easier when you're trading your model. It gives you encourages you to trade it well, to follow the rules, and it'll be easier to sit through losing streaks when you have all this data available to you, and you can look back at the times that worked well, and when you were part of those times, and you log that into your trading log with those journals. You can also look back on that, and it can also encourage you in a different way. But this is mainly about collecting data, and this is important because this is what allows you to look at your data and then see if there's anything you could change to make the model better. And it's also just a place that, aside from what you did personally, you might have broken your rules, you might have lost a lot of money, you might have done something wrong, you might have missed a trade, you might have taken an extra trade by accident, whatever it is. This is where everything being perfect, doing everything perfectly, this is what you should have. Alright, and it's just different from your bottom line. It's just, this is what it should be, and this just allows you to, observe your model. In aside from what you did. So, anyways, I'll show you the template for this. Template's gonna look a little different. It's gonna have different properties because me, oftentimes I have these different scenarios, and I put a few examples over here. But maybe you want to figure out, is my model working better when there's news? So you want to check every time there's news, and then you can go back in the filter over here. You could add a new filter, and maybe you want to do red folder news. You want to have it checked. So now you have a filter over here. It's only going to show you trades where it's checked, and you can see, and you compare it versus when it's not checked. Which is better? Is it worth only trade news or not? Same thing with anything else, any of the scenarios that I have there. So you could have a few days in a week where maybe a few trades in 1 week where it went against the bias for your day. Maybe you have a mechanical way of determining a bias, or maybe it was on a holiday, or the overnight price action just went in one direction all night. It just went up or down, or just did the same thing all night. And now it's 9:30, market's about to open. What do you do? Is it best to trade those days? I don't know. Then you can add more screenshots. This is different time frames, because when I collect data, I like to look at different time frames. I might not use a higher time frame, but I like to log it, because if in the future I want to look at the higher time frame, and maybe I want to add something, or I want to study a certain concept on a higher time frame, then I would like to have those pictures there, so I don't have to. It'll save me time from having to go back in time and put those things there. So yeah, that's that. And yeah. Oh, there's also a few more things I should probably mention, but there's these formulas here with some code. This is basic code. It's already all set for you. Here you just need to select if it's a win or a loss, and then the RR, whether it's -1, I think, right? No, gross P&L. Okay, I'm gonna have to change this because this isn't right. There is no gross P&L here, so I'll just have to change that. It's as easy as just changing it to RR down here, and then yeah, so the -1 will give you a loss, but if you do above 0, it will, well, if we change it over here, I don't know why that happened, but there you go. That should be good now. Yeah, so anyways, you could also, now I'm going to bring you to, let me just delete this. I'm bringing you to the last thing, which is journal. And this is really just for personal entries. So the template here, you could change this yourself, but I just put in basic ideas, or just to get an idea of what you could do. But journal type, you could put in, whether it's a monthly entry or weekly or trading journal, or maybe it's a personal log of something that happened in your life. You want to put a date. There's a box here. There's check boxes. I don't know. There's an image you could add. Maybe you want to do a voice recording. I used to do that. So on my phone, I'd access Notion. As you can download this app on your phone, and then I'd put in the audio file from my phone, and it'd be there. And yeah. So there's a lot of different things you could do with Notion. I also use it for work, for school, for trading. I use all sorts of things, and I think this is a game changer if you're a trader. Might not getting into trading, you might not see the importance of journaling and collecting data, but I can tell you that it has made all the difference for me. It definitely has a positive effect on you, even if you're never going to make use of your data. If you're just there to trade a model somebody give you and follow the rules and see if it works or not, you're still going to want to be able to quantify and measure that, because it will really help you stick with it when in times of peril, in times of loss. You're going to want to be able to look at something to encourage you, which could be your data. Anyways, with that being said, I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. And please let me know any feedback if you have any of this, if you happen to use this template. I'd really love to see that. It encourages me and it makes me happy to see that other people are benefiting from the things I put out. So anyways, without further ado, that's it. Have a good day and good luck with your trading.